How to solder copper pipe like a pro in 5 minutes. The number one mistake everyone makes when soldering copper pipe. This is one of the most fundamental skills in all of plumbing, and it's the one that really screws beginners up the most. But I'm going to show you a simple 4-step process that will guarantee you a perfect leak-proof solder joint every single time. Now, for the apprentices or the serious DIYer, this is a core skill you absolutely must master. For the homeowner, understanding how this is done will help you spot a professional from an amateur. And for my local pros, stick around. You might just pick up a new trick. Let's sweat some pipe. All right, step one is the prep. And listen to me, this is 90% of the job. The solder, it only flows where the copper is perfectly clean. Now, you need to clean the outside of the pipe and the inside of the fitting until they're bright and shiny. No exceptions. Every failed solder joint is a failure of preparation. First of all, you've got to cut the pipe. You understand that. Now, get some good tubing cutters. That way it gives you a good, clean cut. I've seen people cut with hacksaws, sawzalls, things like that. You can do it. Your cut's normally not near as straight, which when you put these together inside here, you want them to line up. That way when the solder fills it up, it's smooth laminar flow of the water on the inside. But to get it ready, it's really simple. Get a good reamer. Ream the inside of it. That way there's nothing inside of there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put these on just to be smart. But you ream the inside of it, double the outside of it. Having a tool like this, I like. Now, you can also do the same thing with a pipe reamer, and I'll do this on the other one. But basically, I love having a tool like this. It reams the inside, bevels the outside. It means it's going to be a nice clear cut. And part of beveling the outside, you want to make sure there's not any nicks or anything sticking up so that when you stick it down inside there, it scrapes out the flux that you're going to put in. Anything that you can do to help make sure you get everything prepped the right way before you start is going to make it a better deal. So that one there is clean that way. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here and do it with my reamer. Now you don't have to do a whole lot. You're just really trying to break out that inside edge. Now, I don't always stick my finger in it. I know how long it takes me to do it or how many times I need to go around. But you can do this really good and get a good clean inside edge on it. Now on this, if I didn't have this with me to bevel the outside, just cleaning it with sand cloth is gonna get it down really, really good. Now, if you've got cleaners like this is great too, because literally it just goes in, and I'll go ahead and clean both ends just to show you. But this one with the wire brush, I like these. Remember when these first came out, I thought it was crazy. Now, if you notice, I'm making sure that the brush rotates the same direction every time, not back and forth. The reason being, to me, I think they last a little bit longer that way. But see, you can get a good, pretty, clean edge right there. Now, doing the other end with sand cloth just to show you, wrap it around it. Now, this you can go back and forth, you can go both ways. It's just abrasive cloth. It really doesn't matter. But I always try to make sure too, when I'm doing this, I get that end real good just because I don't want there to be a sharp edge sticking up that, like I said, scrapes out the flux as I'm putting it together. So both these are clean. As I can see, this one, I did not ream out the inside. Again, you can take your pencil cutter or your reamer, or your pencil reamer, or your reamer and beveler. Now, either end could really go in and be good. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is do the same thing to the inside of my fitting. You want your fitting, and if you look at the outside of these, see how bright and shiny they are? This is what I was talking about a while ago. That nice shiny edge, and you want to make sure that they're deep enough on either one that when that coupling's there, you've got clean copper. And if I'm right in the middle, I'm right at it. Now I may take this back a little bit more. That way I know when I put my flux on, it's going to be on clean copper and it's going to help draw that solder in. Fitting brush, you really want these. Now, if you've got an old one or you got one that's not getting it good and clean, I've seen people take abrasive cloth, fold it up on a half round like that, stick their finger inside. It's a little bit more work, I get it. But if you look inside, you can get just as clean of an edge. Maybe even cleaner than that. Oh, I didn't do the other. I did the same one. But either way, you want to make sure you've got it nice and clean. Okay, so step 2 is applying flux. Now, flux is a chemical cleaner that allows the solder to bond with the copper. The secret here is a very thin coat, a very thin, even coat. Too much flux will burn and prevent a good seal. Now, you just need enough to make the copper look wet. Apply it to both the pipe and the inside of the fitting. And it's really easy to do. You've got a little bitty fitting brush here, and you just need a little bit on here. It doesn't take a lot. And I paint it on like Picasso, man. I put it on. I want to make sure that I come down to the bottom of the shiny part where I have it cleaned. And then on the fitting, look up inside there and do the exact same thing. Now, if you look in there, it's just a very, very thin coat, and it goes all the way around. And you can look down in it. I've gone down just past the middle. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and slide that on and go down. Now, these are repair couplings, so there is not a stop on the inside. Those that have a stop, you literally push it in until it stops, and that's exactly what it's designed for. So now I'm going to do the flux again on the other piece. And again, it's just a very thin, very consistent coat all the way around. Now, I do want to make sure that the flux goes all the way down to the other piece of pipe because I want the solder to draw in all the way to where these two pieces of pipes butt up. Now, these pieces, I can feel on the inside are touching, which is exactly what I want. Now, me, I'm aerial retentive. You see the stripes, you see the letters. To me, you can take just a second, just like I did, and make sure those are lined up. Now, if I were installing these in a wall, I would want those letters to face outside. That way, when the inspector walks up, he can just look down and he knows exactly what he's dealing with. He knows whether it's by code or not. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the vise and get it ready to solder, and then we'll talk about one of the most important steps. Okay, so step 3 is the heat. And here's the number one mistake beginners make. They heat the pipe. You don't heat the pipe, you heat the fitting. The fitting is thicker and holds more heat. Heat the fitting and the fitting will heat the pipe. You'll know it's hot enough when the flux starts to sizzle and smoke just a little bit. Now, me, there are times that I heat the pipe first. I may heat the pipe if I'm worried about it moving or shifting or I'm trying to keep something level. I'll heat the pipe to expand the pipe. Now, I don't get the pipe red glowing hot. I want to then bring my heat in here. And one of the other problems, the size of the tip. Look at the flame on this. Now, you see that? That is a lot more fire than you're going to need for this. So what you want to make sure you do is use the right tip. Now, people tend to burn a fitting up. They'll use way too much heat. They'll cook the flux out. They'll do a lot of different things. But this, that's a big enough flame. Okay, so again, me, if I don't want it to move, I may go ahead and just kind of heat the pipe up just enough to expand it. Now as I heat the fitting itself, in this case the coupling, everything's going to kind of expand together and I'm not going to have to worry about anything. Then we take the solder, we put it in, draw it to the middle, and call it good. And now the magic. Step 4 is applying the solder. Touch the tip of your solder to the joint on the side opposite the flame. If the fitting is hot enough, it will instantly melt and the solder will be sucked into the joint by capillary action. You'll see a silver ring appear all the way around. That's it. Remove the solder, then the heat, and let it cool down. Now, one thing I like to do as a plumber is always have a good clean rag or soldering gloves on and just bump the bottom of it just a little bit to make sure that there's not any solder buildup, any drip leg, anything at all like that. The final step is to wipe the joint with a semi-damp rag, not while it's hot. Now, this removes excessive flux and gives you that clean professional look. This is something a lot of young kids don't do anymore. They were never taught the right way. I didn't use a lot of pressure on it. I'm not trying to push the fitting. To be honest, this is still hot. I could actually grab that pipe and probably pull the joint apart or make it crack because it's not cooled down yet. Now, there's a lot of people I know that will take a cold, wet rag at this point and wipe it down. I don't like doing that. Even if I'm in a position where I know I need it to cure quick because I need to test it or something, I try not to do that. I try to let it cool just naturally. Now, there are some people that'll come through and spray them down and soap them down from the get-go. I want to wait till it cools down a little bit. But after it cools down, I may take clean water and put on it. I may just take a good clean rag and wipe it off. Now, I've talked long enough. It's probably cooled down enough. So just going ahead and wiping it now, what that will do, it will get any excess flux off of there. And to me, it's just going to make it look like a better joint. What you're left with is a perfectly strong, leak-proof joint that will last for hundreds of years. Mastering a core skill like this is the first step on the path to an amazing career. It's a feeling of pride. It's a feeling of accomplishment. But it's just one of dozens of fundamental skills you need to succeed. Now, in our Getting Into the Trades course, we provide a structured learning path with video lessons just like this one for every core competency. Now, this is mindset, this is vision, these are things you need to learn. Everything from walking in and applying to everything else. From soldering and threading pipe to reading blueprints and understanding codes, that's stuff that you can learn. But you can try to piece it all together from random videos, or you can get a complete structured education that prepares you for a real career. If you're ready to build your future, click the link in the description to get started. Now that you've mastered soldering, check out this video on the PEX versus copper debate. That way you understand what you're talking about. And to see where this skill is most valuable. Or this one where Mike, a 22-year-old plumber, makes $150,000 a year. And you can too. I'll see you in the next video.